And obviously we kept growing once we were back in the game. So there was a lot of ego death. And I guess, that insecurity of not having a lot of money, having had it, or having momentum and having it taken away from you so aggressively, that was definitely something that still drives me, because now that I've experienced it, I don't want to go back. That's why for me, even if we've hit quota this month, which is awesome, and we're now on track to kind of get into the multiple six figures a month range, within the next kind of 2-ish months, which is awesome. My brain is still thinking like, I don't want to pay myself too much money because I'd rather invest it into my staff and my team just so we can keep bringing things in. So that's an insecurity that I feel, and I guess partially drives me. Was there a moment you chose success over someone you loved? Bro, story of my life. I'm not quite, I've got a corporate image now. But recently I had a podcast with a friend of mine who's also in the info and marketing space. And a big part of the podcast is about relationships. Shout out to Pranav Jamala. And he was talking about the pros and cons of being in a relationship when, trying to grow your business versus not being in a relationship. I'll put it this way, succinctly. I have, over my 6-7 years, running my own business, sacrificed relationships at least twice. One of the times was with someone that I love extremely deeply. But, at the end of the day, everything's vibration. So for me to be like, yes, this is my girlfriend, this is someone I see myself marrying, if it doesn't make sense, even if I really enjoy the person, I have cut off the person, or I've been the one to say, you know what, we can hang out, but we're not going to be able to be in a relationship. And that is painful. But I also think that's part of being a leader and a good person, is being able to call out these truths and then having that person decide if they still want to participate in your reality. Because, some people, it's always good to never cut someone off. You should read Robert Greene. You never know who people are going to end up being in life. So it's important to never just fully cut someone off, because you just never know who they could become in life. Always be polite, always be courteous, be firm. But yeah, that's just a bit of a rant. I've definitely broken up with people that I've loved to focus on business, and more importantly, to just focus on my own growth when it wasn't aligned with that other person. All right. What's up, Denzel, Montoya, Layla? What's up, Katia as well? Mila, what's the most expensive thing you paid for that wasn't money? Ooh, that wasn't money. Well, I paid for a lot of things with time. I can tell you that, man. A lot of things with time. I had a certain business venture when I was younger, and it involved a business partner that actually had legit BPD. Legit, not just this person's a narcissist, this person is BPD. This guy had legit BPD. And he had issues, and he'd been known to have issues, right? So what happened with him was I spent a lot of time building up this event with him. I'm not going to go too deep into the details. And long story short, he took the Instagram accounts that we created from scratch. So yes, I'd spent a lot of money, but more importantly, I'd spent so much time. So what I'd do for this brand is I'd go to different, let's just say, spaces, and I'd reach out to the people involved in those spaces, and then I'd have them be involved in the content. So I'd spend, even just in terms of raw effort, putting aside the editing, at least 10 to 30 hours driving to these different spaces, engaging with these people, and to just have the whole Instagram stolen was extremely painful. But it was a great lesson, and it allowed me to be really grateful for I now understand the importance of having good people that I do business with, not just people that, are going to make money with me. I want people that, I can break bread with, that if I have 5 kids one day in the future, I can be like, hey, this person was there for me 10 years ago. I can trust them with my 5 kids. I can let them take the jet. I can let them do this. I can let them do that. So I have different incentives now when I am selecting business partners or alliances in general, because money, as you alluded to correctly, isn't the only thing that you can lose. I'd argue that, essentially time is more expensive than money. Mila, how different is your public confidence from your private doubt? Okay, one thing I can say, I'm pretty congruent. This is not, some of the rage baiting ads that a lot of people love commenting really negative stuff on. A lot of the rage baiting ads is a bit of a personality. But honestly, I'm as confident as I am online in person. I might not be as brash. I might not be as, exuberant or kind of, excessive. But I'm definitely still very confident, very convicted in my beliefs. And that's because I've lived it. I'm not a guy that's coming on here to sell courses. I'm a guy that has actually been in head of sales worked multiple corporate jobs, was fired from multiple corporate jobs. I'm a guy that actually did the corporate thing in his late teens and his early 20s and now has a 6-figure plus per month company. And I say plus because very soon we'll be doing 200K a month, probably in the next couple of weeks or in the next 1 to 2 months, right? Again, I don't say this to brag. I say this because anyone that you've seen do it from scratch, like no handouts. Like my parents didn't pay for me. My parents were actually against me doing entrepreneurship. They were very, very upset with it. They were very, very scared. I remember one night I was talking to my mom and I just came back from the gym. I was 19. I was doing multi-level marketing at the time. And I was trying to fit all these things in the day, pitching for my marketing agency, do multi-level marketing, playing basketball, working out 3 times a day. I come back from the gym around 12, 1 a.m. It's about to tell my mom good night. She likes me to tell her good night before I went to sleep. This is when I was living with her and my dad. I knocked on the door, Mom, good night. She's like, Dami, you came home so late. I was like, Mom, I know. And she kept harping on that. And I said this one statement, and this statement sticks with me to this day because of the reaction that I got from this statement. I said, Mom, aren't you proud of me? She's like, Dami, I'm proud of you, but you're coming home too late. I'm really worried. And I'm like, Mom, you're getting in the way of my dreams. And she turned over on her head and she started crying, right? So stories like that are things that people don't see about entrepreneurship, and things like that really carve and craft your confidence over time, because you're thinking of all the people that you don't want to let down, all the people that, like my young brother, he has an incredible business, very proud of him. But I've seen the hours he puts into it. He's working as many hours as I was putting in when I was 20, 21, 22, and I had 0. He has way more than I ever had at that age, right? So things like that really make you think, okay, like, yes, public doubt, private doubt, public confidence, public-private confidence, but really, the more things you've been through, the more congruent I feel you become. Which part of entrepreneurship feels fake to you? The flexing, bro, like, again, I am 26. I don't have a Mercedes. I don't have, what's the one that, a Bugatti. I don't have that. Now, if I was to sell my marketing agency, could I afford a sports car that's very expensive? Yes. Will I be doing that this year? No. I get roasted a lot in Melbourne when I go out to these different events. I wear this green jacket, and I've been wearing it since I was about 22 years old. I still have not bought another puffer jacket in the last 4 years. Now, to be fair, that's quite excessive. I have to say that's quite excessive, but that's a demonstration of a lot of people that, and not everyone's like me perhaps, but even my brother who's, makes more money than me, he doesn't wear flashy stuff. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of people, when they are leading with luxury, okay, online, it's not that it's not real, it's more, I'm assuming that you're probably making more money from the course or the info product and not from your actual prior skill that you're teaching on. Now, again, everyone's different, but these are things that I tend to notice in patterns with, the ultra successful and the people that I guess are kind of, using bank loans to finance cars and things of that nature. How do you know when ego is helping you versus when ego is destroying you? Really good one. And that's a nuance. I think when it comes to ego, a lot of this comes, so there's a saying, fast success breeds ego, slow success breeds character. I 1,000,000,000% agree.